Hey everyone, welcome back to Alf's Mustang Garage, bringing you another video to help keep your Mustang on the road and out of the garage. So today we're working on a 67 Mustang convertible, 289 C code, and we have a bad vacuum advance. So we're going to replace that for you today. One of the many little things that it came in for just wasn't running right. We did a lot of checks on this, just kind of basic things that I do with nearly every car that comes in here, and so we're just kind of taking care of some of these little things to get these engines to run really smooth, get them to run right and the way they're supposed to, and it just kind of makes a world of a difference when you add up all the tiny little things that are just not right about the car, and it just a night and day difference when they leave here. So anyways, today we're going to replace a vacuum advance on a distributor for a 289. Okay, so to test these is actually pretty easy. You have a vacuum hose that goes here, so all you gotta do is apply vacuum to the end of the hose, and what you're gonna see on a good working vacuum advance is this arm is gonna kind of suck in towards the diaphragm, and it's gonna essentially going to rotate the entire unit here in the distributor, which is gonna advance your ignition timing. So if you apply vacuum to this and it doesn't work, the diaphragms in these tend to go bad over the years. So I'm just going to suck on the hose here. I can't even build a vacuum at all, so it's just like totally toast. And you can check the hose here, and the hose is fine. I can pull a vacuum when I plug the other end, but yeah, that's how you test those vacuum advances. So on this arm here, there's a little E-clip just right here. Just gonna pop that off like that, and then as you can see, that arm will come off that stud. Okay, so now we just have these two flathead screws here. Okay, so now we got the two screws out, got the little E-clip out. This is completely loose. You just kind of pull it right out. It's really that easy. Okay, so here's our replacement. This is made by Standard VC31. I'll be listing this part on my Amazon storefront, Alf's Mustang Parts on Amazon, if you wanted to get it through me and help support a small business. So okay, installation is pretty easy. Just gotta get it in and get it up and over on the post. Okay, here's our E-clip going in place. Helps when you have little magnetic tools. But I like to try and get it kind of lined up. Like that. And then you can kind of just push it into place like that. That's kind of how that timing adjusts right there. I mean, obviously when it's bolted down, it's the vacuum that's pulling that whole assembly, but that whole assembly will kind of move slightly like that. So okay, so now that we have this all bolted in, I'm just gonna, suck on the hose, put a vacuum on this, and kind of show you how this works. doesn't move a whole lot, but it just kind of advances that ignition timing just a little bit. Now here's what's might blow your mind. These units, they're adjustable. So inside the posts right here, I'm going to show you how to adjust these so it can kind of, you know, advance it with less vacuum, or it's going to take, you know, more vacuum to advance it. But I'll show you how to adjust these. So on this unit, you can get, there's a chart that shows you how to adjust these, and it's kind of dependent on which distributor you have. So the different years and engine sizes that they put these in, there's going to be, you know, a stamped ID code on the back of this, whether it's like a C6 or a C7 OE, C7 AF, or what have you. You got to find the stamping that's usually on here on the back, and you got to compare it to the chart. Okay, so the spec sheet for adjusting you will find inside the box from standard on these. Okay, so you got to match up the ID, the stamped ID on your distributor. Obviously, if you're doing this job, this replacement, you're running a stock Autolite distributor, so match it up to what you have stamped back there, and it'll tell you how many turns out you're gonna do. This one that we have is going to be 3.5 turns out. Oh, and you need a really small Allen wrench, okay, because that's what it takes. When you get it in, you kind of feel it go into place, and you can actually turn the screw in there, and once it goes to full tighten, okay, you're 3.5 turns out. Okay, on this particular distributor. It's not like that for every distributor. Just, you gotta look up the chart and compare it to what you have. Okay, but they range from, you know, 3 turns to 5 turns. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.5, according to standard ignition, standard parts. That's what it should be. Hook up your hose, put your rotor back on, put your cap back on. This hose should be connected to a ported vacuum. There's ported vacuum, and then there's a manifold vacuum port underneath this Holley 2300. Okay, if you go to manifold vacuum, it's going to have vacuum advance at all times. If you go to ported vacuum, you're going to get vacuum upon acceleration, and that's when you want your timing to advance to give you your peak and optimum horsepower to get you to accelerate the car. When you're idling, you don't need the timing advanced. You just don't need it. So you shouldn't be porting this on manifold vacuum. If you're running a stock engine, no reason to put this on manifold vacuum. Just put it up here on a ported vacuum. Well, I hope that's helpful. That's it for today. As always, we're here to help keep your Mustang on the road and out of the garage. And we'll catch you next time.